Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to be able to climb up quite high, very close to legend, with Aurorus. Aurorus is actually a very interesting Pokemon. This Pokemon is really high rated, and nobody is playing it. And I want to take a look at this team anyway, like in this Pokemon anyway, and I was encountering this team recently, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm gonna give it a try as well. And I got up, I think, to like 2,970 MMR with this team here, with the lead of Aurorus, which is, by the way, ranked 22 currently on PvPoke, which is really high. We're going to have the Face-Up of a Azumarill, going to allow you to have like a Fighting Resist, which is quite nice, a Pokemon that can deal with Mud Slappers, which is quite nice, and of course a Pokemon that's going to just generally be able to counter most of the counters that you have with the lead. And as you can see, the first battle, we're just going to hardwall our opponent. So let's see on how this is gonna go. Next opponent, this is going to be actually a very interesting matchup. We're going to have a great lead of the Galarian Moltres and Shiny against us, but we're also gonna see the swap out now into the Feraligatr. And you might think, I need to realign myself. I need to have like my flying type answer from my lead against the opponents there. And I don't. And I'm not gonna do that. And what we're gonna see here is, well, I'm gonna decide to go for another Frenzy Plant, and we're gonna get the final shield of the opponent, and I don't care. I honestly don't care. If they want to knock me out, knock me out. If they don't want to knock me out, don't knock me out. But we're going to have now. Basically, we're going to die at the same time. We're going to have two answers for Moltres already. There's no reason for me to not use like the shield there and not try to align myself with it. And as you're going to see, the opponent decides to forfeit here now anyway. And so we're going to have quite some nice fast battles here today. We're going to have now the Aurorus now against the opponent's Ariados. They're very likely going to go for the super effective hit of Trailblaze, which is going to be a bit annoying for us. But we're going to see how we can deal with this Pokemon here as well. We can go ahead and go for a Weather Ball. Weather Ball is going to get the first shield, because it could have been also the Rock type move, of course. And so we can go for another Weather Ball straight afterwards, getting some nice damage onto them. But not only this, we can also now catch the move onto our Azumarill. You might think our Trailblaze is going to do a ton of damage. It's going to be the lunge. It was quite obviously the lunge they're coming through. And with this, we're going to be able to use a shield here now, as Trailblaze is boosted. And of course super effective. I kind of rather want to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam here, which I can reach in time, and with this I'm going to be in a great spot, knocking out the opponent, allowing us to align ourselves, getting the Swampert against our own grass type Pokemon later on with it, while still maintaining the Aurorus in order to deal with Pokemon that maybe like another flying type Pokemon or something like this. And this is going to be very, very good for us. As we will see, the opponent reveals also their final move basically on this Swampert. It's going to be the Sludge Wave. But we can now go ahead and go into the Chestnut. They went only for, I think, one fast move or something, and so we're definitely going to be able to, survive that Hydro Cannon, as we're gonna see the opponent decides to forfeit. So, next opponent, going to be a little bit more tricky. We're going to have the Azumarill in the lead. What would I usually do here? They don't go for Ice Beam is resisted, and so we can overfarm by quite a bit, go into our own Azumarill, and now we have a Media Mesh slot for later on. We have the Player Off against our own Azumarill, which is totally fine, but also our Switch Clock is completely unaligned. And as we're going to be able to go for another Player Off here, the Switch Clock is going to be even further unaligned. So, we are over 30 seconds basically into that matchup. We're going to get out the opponent's Drapion, and what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to let them throw some energy against us here. Crunch is going to do some solid damage against the Aurorus. Awkward here is going to be super effective against the Aurorus. So, our best bet is to basically let the move go through, go ahead and swap out, go for the Weather Ball there. This is going to be enough to knock them out for sure. And as we will see, it's going to be a Talonflame coming in. And luckily, it's going to be a Talonflame coming in. They play it very, very risky. As I decided to go for the Weather Ball, they decide to let the move go through. And with this, we're going to be able to go for another Weather Ball. And we can even get to another one if they don't go straight for the charge move, which they don't. And so we're going to be actually in a very solid spot, as now we're going to be able to maybe even catch a move against the opponent. We can go into the Azumarill, they swap into their own Azumarill, and I can let the move go through. I still have 2 shields left. I can take even a hit on my grass type Pokemon, even though the moves are super effective. We're still going to be able to survive one here. And so I am going to let the move go through. It's going to be the Ice Beam. The opponent still has a ton of energy though on their Talonflame, and so this game is not over yet. But Frenzy Plant is going to be able to take the knockout here, but they decide to use a shield. Very, very smart. And we have a Super Power Start, which I could go straight away for it, but I don't want to. I'm going to swap out of here, get the free fast move in with my Aurorus. Basically, I know I win Stampede against the opponent's Azumarill, and so I am going to be able to win this battle here, and the opponent decides to forfeit again. Next opponent. Here's basically one thing. there's barely any weekly tough that's gonna go for a shield here. They're gonna go straight for the media mesh, or like media beam here. Yeah, media mesh is of course different, media beam. Boosting our own attack, they swap out into the gas drone, allowing us to go for the full farm down. And we saw it already in the video yesterday. If you haven't seen this one yet, definitely check this one out. That this is going to be a very solid matchup for us, where you can just go for the full farm down. And sometimes you're going to be able to survive the move from weekly tough, sometimes you don't survive the move from weekly tough afterwards. We will see if we're gonna still survive a charm here. It looks like we are just barely out of range. It's like a 1 HP thing to survive or not, depending on how much attack investment the opponent has on the Gastron slash the weekly tough. But as you can see, we can still go for at least that one charge move. The opponent stops out into the Marrow Rack. We can go ahead, go for a Wither Ball, force the shield from the opponent, swap out straight away afterwards into the Azumarill to pressure them even further. We still have 2 shields left. That's kind of how this team kind of functions. Like, honestly, this team is very, very good. Other than one Pokemon. There's one Pokemon this team really struggles against, and this is Toxapex. If you take a look at this team, our backline is completely weak to Toxapex. This can be a bit of a tricky one for this team. Feraligatr can also be a little bit of a tricky one for this team. We're going to swap out here now into our Azumarill to try to catch like those charge moves, but they're going to swap out with all of that energy. And to be fair, if we're going to win this battle, then this would be the craziest thing ever, because we are so far behind. Like, the Feraligatr, a Shadow variant there, has basically 2 Hydrocan stored already. You have a Grass type against our Water type Pokemon. We have next to no great coverage against this Pokemon, and we even scared with our lead that we have to swap in afterwards to deal with that Ferrothorn here. And like, nothing is really great for us here. Everything is kind of, yeah, not ideal, I would say. And as you can see, the power up is coming through, going to knock us out, and we have to go for that Weather Ball in order to knock them out. This is going to be enough to get the KO, but again, like, we're in such a bad spot. I don't know how we're supposed to win this battle. I am forced to let the move go through here, and this, like, of course, if it's nice when the game is over already. It is not, and they're going to have Clodsire in the back. And I was like, is there a way? Is there a way of winning this one? I don't think so. Like, I highly doubt it. Like, the only thing that I can do here now is let the move go through. I think that's my only bet of winning this one. And so we're gonna do exactly this. We're gonna see the Stone Edge coming through, which is great for us. We can go for another Frenzy Plant. We can knock them out here with our Aurorus. And now it's down to Aurorus against the opponent's Feraligatr. The only way of really winning this one is if I can somehow get both shields with Weather Ball, stall the time, catch the move, and then go for a Media Beam. How likely is this? Not likely at all, I would say. So let's see if we're going to be able to still do anything here. We of course have to use the shields against the Hydrocan. They still have a ton of energy. We can go for another Weather Ball against the opponent, forcing that final shield. And now we have to catch the move here, which perfectly works out. Literally perfection. And what this means as well is we can go for the Media Beam, and an unwinnable matchup all of a sudden seems winnable with this team here, completely knocking out the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Good friend here. We're going to have the Mega Junko. Still kind of want to go to like a French tournament as well. Yeah, they are from France, so definitely it would be kind of cool to meet up there as well. It's just very difficult for me to go to Lille, like just generally speaking, for anyone who is from the region that I'm there. My brother also doesn't go to the Lille regional, where they would go to. But yeah, definitely one of my long-time supporters of the channel in terms of watching the videos, sending in some gameplay. Always like the cool gameplay that they send in as well. They have a lot of spice. Shouts to you. Really appreciate the support. But generally speaking, I appreciate the support of all of you people. Thanks so much for using your time to watch my content. Hopefully I can help you with improving in the Go Battle League. I try my best every single day. If you enjoy this type of content, if you appreciate my work, then the easiest thing that you can do is feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Really easy and free. Anyway, we're going to have here the Malamar against us. This Pokemon has access to Superpower going to knock us out, and we are kind of relying on the Chestnut. I was thinking they're very likely going to have the Talonflame in the back here, which I kind of was not hoping for. Maybe we already saw what they had in the back. Could be the case. I think we saw what they had in the back already, but we will find out shortly here. Anyway, it's going to be another Superpower coming through. It is going to be, of course, a Drapion there already. But yeah, Malamar Drapion is a great core. Drapion right now, generally speaking, one of the best haze up that he can run. It is just so annoying to deal with, like literally so annoying to deal with. This Pokemon is so spammy, so bulky, still doing a ton of damage. Madness. Like, this Pokemon is great. Like, Drapion for me, one of the best Pokemon to run currently for the Open Great League. If you know who this opponent here is, I don't know. Like, I definitely know that at least I battled them 4 or 5 times already this season, and I think I lost every single game against them. I still remember the name. I'm terrified when I see the name. This trainer, I don't know why, is basically my nemesis there. Mr. Chinks, what is wrong? Like, why do you have to meet up against me here? This, by the way, if I would have won this battle, I would have most likely hit Legend here already with his team. Spoiler alert, it is literally... Like, I don't know, I don't like low kicks. For me, against low kicks, I am always so insanely weak. Maybe I'm going to take a look at the low kicks team as well. Maybe I copy the opponent's team. But low kicks is literally my nemesis. I don't know what's wrong with me in low kicks. Like, this Pokemon is just something that I don't like. Speaking of Pokemon that I don't like, Toxapex is here as well. I don't think there was really a good way of playing against Toxapex, I have to say, because Sludge Wave against my backline. And here's the one thing that I always dislike as well here with Toxapex. Every single time I play this Pokemon, I don't like it. I just don't like it. It's just clunky. It always gets into like those matchups where you don't want to have it in. And every single time I battle against it, it completely destroys me. So for me, cool Pokemon. Congrats on running this Pokemon. I can't. Like, I literally just can't. I don't know why this Pokemon is such a difficult one for me to deal with, but this Pokemon is quite tricky, I would say. But anyway, the opponent is going to have now, Diggersby here against us. We have to kind of try to overfarm by quite a bit, and I should have overfarmed by a little bit more, because while most likely it would have not worked out as well, I think the opponent would have got to a Scorching Sand in time. I would need to catch a move here, something like this, but I did not know when the opponent would have got there. If I caught the move and went for a play rough, I would have won the battle, but I did not know if they would get there in time or if I would get to a move there as well. And this kind of lost me Legend, sadly, because at this point, if I needed one more, like if I got one more win, I would have been definitely able to Legend. But yeah, with this one, it kind of then ended as well. I ended up kind of with like 2,970 MMR with this team. I have definitely still one set to do for today. We have the Go Battle Weekend coming up, so I'm going to try to find a very strong team. The Go Battle Weekend is actually at the current time while you're watching this video. I'm definitely going to try to find a team that hits Legend for me. Maybe my Legend video is going to be already when you're listening to this at the same day, maybe the day after, maybe never, who knows. But yeah, we still have an entire month. Here we're going to see, by the way, Pidgeot. Pidgeot I made a video about recently as well. Check out that video if you have not seen that one yet. But Pidgeot is a good boy. Pidgeot going to go down here from the Azumarill. Pidgeot definitely doesn't use like the ice damage there. The cool thing here is I'm going to be able to align my own Grass Boy against the Marowak, allowing us to resist every single hit that the opponent can go for. And so this is going to be quite a decent matchup. We're going to be able to just let the moves go through, get a ton of energy. And I was wondering, why do they stay in here? And then I realized, maybe they have a like water type Pokemon in the back. And it's going to be Feraligatr. And I decide to go for a big charge move here, which the opponent decides to no shield. Great play there, and if you're wondering why did he go for one extra fast move there instead of going for another superpower, I actually needed the Vine Whip damage in order to put them into range for my Aurorus to fully farm them down, and so I can go for 2 Weather Ball moves here back to back as well, in order to win the battle. So this was calculated. I didn't want to go for the charge move there. I wanted to get them low enough that I can farm them down with Powder Snow, and this worked perfectly here to win us this battle. And here we are with the final battle for today. We're going to have the Azumarill in the lead against us, which is really bad for us. At least we're going to be able to catch another move here against them. But as we will see here as well very soon, is that the opponent is going to kind of return the favor. I overfarm, they overfarm, and they randomly catch the move here as well. While they have 100 energy still on their Azumarill, they're going to catch the move onto a Clodsire, which is smart by them. But like, imagine I would just went straight for the Ice Beam there. I would have been so great in the spot here. I would have been most able to just fully farm them down even with the other Pokemon for sure there. But at least I can go ahead and go for a Weather Ball. Snipe them, knock them out here, right? Wrong, it just barely doesn't do enough damage. I want to click on the charge move, it didn't work out as well. And so I'm forced to use a shield. I didn't even need to, it's going to be a Sludge Bomb. And so like, we're in such a difficult spot. They can go for their own charge move. Play Rough does not knock me out whatsoever. Play Rough is going to come through. I can go for the Meteor Beam. This is going to do a ton of damage if it's going to connect here. Let's see what they're going to do. They let the move go through, and now I can go for the Weather Ball against them, boosted by the Meteor Beam there. It's going to do definitely some sort of damage, but they decide to use a shield here. And because I have so much energy, I have to kind of rely that somehow my chest not going to be able to win the battle. But they have another Drapion, and Drapion is just like honestly such a difficult Pokemon to deal with. Also, Drapion's Clodsire is of course also not really a very fun team to battle. But it's definitely a solid team, so don't get me wrong, like very strong team here to run. It is kind of game over for us, especially with the debuff that they just got there, because now they can knock me out with a crunch here, kind of. Otherwise, I maybe would have been able to do a little bit more damage against them, but they get a double debuff from crunch here, 9% chance. And with this, we're going to have to try to fully farm them down here with our Azumarill. We try our best. I could have used shield, but they had definitely some energy on their own Azumarill, so I didn't really want to use that one. I have an Ice Beam stored. I can go for the Ice Beam. This is going to be enough to hopefully knock them out. It is not, and so sadly we lose the final battle, but that's going to be it for the video. Thanks again so much for watching this video. Check out the ones on the screen here as well, and I will see you then. Bye bye.